In the heart of the silent house where moonlight dared not tread, Leo lay awake. His bedroom, a familiar landscape of posters and scattered toys, had transformed under the cloak of night into a gallery of shifting shadows. It was from the deepest of these shadows, the one that clung to the closet door, that the sound first emerged. Not a creak of wood or a rustle of fabric, but a whisper, thin as a spider's thread that brushed against the edge of his hearing. He held his breath, straining to catch it again, a knot of cold fear tightening in his stomach. The whisper returned, a sibilant hiss that seemed to know his name. Leo, it breathed, a sound both intimate and alien. The nights that followed became a trial. The single whisper grew into a chorus of temptations, a sinister voice that slithered from the closet's darkness. It promised him wonders, secrets the waking world kept hidden. It spoke of power, of a world where his fears would hold no sway, where he would be the master of shadows, not their prisoner. Leo's paranoia bloomed like a toxic flower. He began to see malevolence in the way the moonlight fractured through his window, in the creak of the floorboards outside his door. His room, once his sanctuary, now felt like a cage, the walls pressing in, the air thick and heavy with unspoken dread. He would stare at the closet, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs, the polished brass doorknob glinting like a single watchful eye. The voice grew more insistent, its promises laced with an impatient, demanding edge. It preyed on his deepest insecurities, his childhood fears, twisting them into a lure he found increasingly difficult to resist. The temptation was a physical ache, a magnetic pull that drew him from the relative safety of his bed. One night the whispers reached a crescendo, a vortex of sound that drowned out his own thoughts. He could no longer fight it. His feet touched the cold floor, each step a surrender. Compelled by a will that was not his own, he crossed the room. His hand, trembling, closed around the doorknob. With a final shuddering breath, Leo pulled the closet door open. Inside, where his clothes should have been hanging in neat rows, there was only a deeper, more absolute darkness. It was a void that seemed to swallow the dim light of the room, a living patch of night from which a figure began to coalesce. It was tall and gaunt, a silhouette of wrong angles and stretched limbs, its form indistinct yet utterly terrifying. Leo stared, frozen, as the shadowy figure leaned forward, the whispers now a deafening roar inside his head. The scene then cuts abruptly. All that remains is the view of an empty bedroom, the closet door hanging wide open, revealing nothing but the mundane collection of clothes within. The room is silent, still, bathed in the soft glow of the morning sun, leaving the question of what was real and what was imagined to linger in the empty space.